Hey guys, as promised, here's some boxing training for you. Some body combat stuff that we normally don't have time to go over during class, and we do try sometimes, but this is going to be on video, so you guys will have it like all the time, right? So it's cool. All right, so when we're boxing, everything starts in your feet. Everything begins in your feet. Nothing begins here. Your arms are the last thing that you use. So you have to have, instead of good posture, you have to have this kind of posture. So boxers always have crunch going on here. So you got to be crunched. You got to be a little bit hunched over. Not hunched, but relaxed. Let me say relaxed. Because boxing, if you're not relaxed when you're boxing, then you're stiff and you can't move very well, right? So you've got to be able to move, and you've got to be able to move quickly. So I'm going to start with, this is your right foot. Put your right foot forward, and I want you to do this. I just want you to make loose fists, and I want you to bring your elbows in and crunch right there. See what I just did? Just crunch. So your chin is in, your eyes are up, and your fists are at your cheekbones, right? Right here at your jaw, your cheek. Because if you're down here, you know what we say in class, don't protect your sports bra. You can always replace your sports bra. This, not so much, right? So round it, elbows in, and I just want you to push back and forth from the ball of your feet. So you're just pushing from the ball of your feet, right? Everything's rounded, and you see how everything is going to start to rotate because you're pushing front foot, back foot. The ball of your foot into the floor, everything starts to rotate. So I'm just pushing my feet into the floor, and you can do the same thing. We're going to do this for a few more. And your hands are up, your elbows are in, your shoulders are relaxed, and see how you're starting to rotate from the core now, right? So everything in boxing starts in the feet, and it comes up through the hips and core and back, right? So nothing comes from the front of your shoulders. Nothing really comes from your arms or your elbows. Those are just sort of like the end of your weapon, if that makes sense, right? So we're here, we're rotating, rotating, rotating. All right. Now, front arm is always a jab. That's what it's called, a jab. So I want you to do this half turn and punch straight out to me. Now, I want you to look. See how my big knuckles are facing you, right? My thumb is down a little bit, but I'm not here. I'm here because I want to hit with my big knuckles. I don't want my small knuckles to get involved. My arm is about 95% extension, and it's coming from the back of my shoulder, not from here. So when I jab, it's here. From the side view, it's here. Chin in, eyes up, right over your fist. And when it comes back in, it's in the same place it started, and it's not lower. It's in the same place it started, right? So you're going to jab, in and out and in. And if you really, really, really want to start to train your back to do this properly and to get muscle memory and to be able to go quicker, grab yourself some 3 or 4 pound weights, right? Just grab them and just go, right? So there's your jab, there's your jab. Cross punch, that's your big heavy punch. Why? Why? Because it comes from the back of your body, and it comes all the way across using the whole back, hips, everything comes in, pushes right into that cross punch, right? So your jab is your quick punch. Your jab is your quick punch. Your cross punch is your long punch. But listen, your cross and your jab have to hit the same place, right? So I'm here. I've got my jabbing arm right here. Boom. Now my cross punch is right here. Do you think that went to the same place as my jab? Let's see. It did. Why did that happen? Because I turned my hip into it, and I pushed the back of my body into it. If I don't do that, my jab's here, my cross is here. You see that? It's not in the same spot. But once I turn my hip, it's right there. So you're hitting the bag. You're hitting the bag, or you're hitting your opponent equally. This is your harder hit because it does take all of the weight from the back of your body, turns it into the punch. Yeah? So practice the cross punch now. Just practice that cross punch. And you can pause this, and you can just practice in the mirror, or you can practice, right here. I'll pause it. I'll hold it, right? This is how you need to look. Chin in, eyes up, big knuckles facing forward, 95% arm extension. here. Hip turned, right? Hip turned. Bring it back in. Then I want you to go jab, cross. I want you to do them both. Now, I'm pivoting my back toe. You can't see because I've got the camera not that far down, but jab, cross. I'm pivoting my back toe. Why? Because I want more hip engagement. I want more of my back of my body in there, right? Into that punch. That's where the force comes, right? That's how you create the force, and that's how you create the power, is from your back and your hips, right? And your core, of course. Now you can switch feet and do it on the other side. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. Two of the punches we use the most. We use the most the jab, the cross, the uppercut, and the hook. We're going to go over those as well. Plus, I'm going to go over elbow strikes with you because those seem to throw people off quite a bit. All right, so, oh, I liked what I just said. I'm going to throw someone off if I hit him with my elbow, right? Never mind. All right. So, uppercut. I'm going to step in again with my right foot, with your right foot. So, put your right foot up. Uppercut. The reason they call it a drop and pop is because that's what you're doing, right? So, you start in the same place. This shoulder's going to close as I drop my elbow into my hip. Right? I don't pull my elbow back because if I did, I'm going to get hit in the ribs, right? Or the head or something. But if I keep it here and I just close and drop, I'm not only protecting my body and getting ready to get a power uppercut, a power punch into the jaw of my opponent, I'm also protecting myself here. And I'm getting a ton of core work. Tons of core work. It's all in your core and your obliques here and your back, right? So drop and you use your hip to pop. So here to here. Open and close that other shoulder. Open and close it, right? So you're going to feel your core. If you practice this and you practice that drop and that turn of the shoulder, you're going to start to feel everything around here. And body combat is 100% core work. All right, switch feet. Do it over here. Do it over here. Hands up. Drop. Closing that shoulder some, right? Pop. The force comes from the hip. That lets your arm go up. Don't force your arm up. Don't force it up. Because if you're forcing it up, you're not letting the relaxation and the power from the hips and back work for you. What you're doing is making it slow and stiff and hurting yourself here in the front of your shoulder. We don't use the front of our shoulders when we box, right? We don't use the front of our shoulder. We drop and we pop it up and down. It falls back down. I'm not pulling it back down. It falls back down. Does that make sense? Let's go into a front stance. Both feet, hips back, elbows in. Okay, we're going to go here and here. Go slow. Roll. And I know you want to go faster, but you're not going to get it if you keep going too fast. There. Using my hips. You see that hip movement? What's going on with my toes is I'm pivoting my toes to make, and I'm pushing my butt and hip forward each uppercut. And you do feel a lot of core work, right? Yeah. All right, let's go into hooks. Now, we can do hooks here with one foot up or here, right? Or we can go in a front stance because we do everything in combat. We do all stances, all techniques. So I'm going to do hooks in a front stance, and you can join me in this front stance, right? So, because if you hook from here, you've got to move more, as you know. We'll go through that after we go front stance. All right, hands up. Here's what I don't want you to do. Do not reach out and swipe it around. Don't do that. You'll be the one on the ground. I don't want that, right? So all you got to do is think of a 90-degree angle. And you're going to turn the corner with that 90-degree angle, hitting with, you guessed it, big knuckles, flat part, right? Keeping your wrist straight so you don't hurt your wrist, you don't hurt your elbow. Everything has to come from your back, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself, right? So elbow comes up. There's my 90 degrees right there, right? I'm going to turn the corner, bring it back in. Turn the corner, bring it back in. So if I want a power hook, I'm going to use a whole bunch of my back here. Chin stays in. Boom, right? And you can go right, left. See which one you do better. Which one you don't do as well. Practice that side more, right? Practice that side more. All right, step up your right foot. Give me a front hook. Boom. That was good, you guys. Do it again. Now, if you're going to hook from the back, you got to move farther, right? So it comes up and you turn. You've got to turn more. Same thing, left foot. You got to turn more from the back. And you guys know that. I want you to practice those hooks and making sure you're not reaching behind first. And on your uppercuts, make sure you're not scooping sand, right? Don't scoop. Everything stays close to the body in these strikes. Everything stays close to your body. Your uppercut's in about a 45-degree, right, angle here. Your hook is about a 90-degree hook, turning the corner. And your jab crosses are straight out front of you, right about nose, lip, chin level, right? Let's go into some elbow strikes. Elbow strikes, Muay Thai fighting. I love elbow strikes. And there's 3 elbow strikes that we normally do in body combat at different times, right? So the most common one we do is a descending elbow strike. So if you want to put your right foot up, I'm going to be here. Elbow strikes, hands are open, right? Muay Thai, hands are open. They're not spread because you break your fingers, as you can see by my hand, right? Close your hand. Lift your elbow up. Now, it all has to do with the crunch here. It all has to do with your crunch and not with anything else. It doesn't have to do with your arm, but you're going to hit right here to the bridge of the nose and the eye. So right here to the bridge of the nose and the eye on your opponent. Elbow strikes are close up. Your opponent's in your face and an elbow strike, right? You've got to use your back. You've got to use that force. Your hand is here to protect you. Your elbow is up a little higher than your eye, right? And when you drop it, you crunch down. And see how I threw my back forward? That's where your strike comes from. That's where that power, that force comes from. Your back. And you got to crunch. So now if you're going to do the other arm, same thing, right? Here to here. And if you want it to be hard and fast, make it that way. But don't make it that way from here or from here. Make it from here and back here, okay? So you just have to practice, because if you start doing this and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I don't feel this where I need to feel it. You need to feel it around here, and you need to feel it right back here and in your lats, right, which run up the sides of your back. You don't need to feel it in your shoulders, right? So it's here and it's here. Ascending elbow strikes. That is this part of your arm right here to the jaw of your opponent. Look how close my hand is to my head right now. I'm not out here. I'm not doing this thing, right? I'm not throwing my arm back like this. Don't do that, right? Keep it in close. Everything's in close. Your opponent is right up in your face. Your hands are here. You've got to do your ascending elbow strike with your hip and glute, right? So you're here, and your fingertips go to your back, but you're still using your lats, your back, your abs, but mostly you're using your hips, your butt. So your ascending elbow strike, there. Use the hip, use the glute to throw the power, right? It's the power, it's the force. So it's combing your hair. It's like combing your hair, see? You can always comb your hair for your ascending elbow strike. If you want to figure something out for that, that works great, right? But remember, push your hip into it, right? Push your back into it. Everything is there. Everything is there. Another elbow strike we do is the a round elbow strike, the circular elbow strike, right? Like we do in the track Testify. And we do some of these in the latest release we just did, right? So what am I doing here? I'm taking this part of my arm to my opponent's jaw. So his head is going to go like this, right? As you hit him, or the bag. You can hit a bag like this, right? But you got to do it here and not here, right? Don't do it on the sharp part of your elbow, because that's no force, right? So use the force. Sometimes we do 3 and 1, like we go 1, 2, 3. That's 2 hits. So you've got to hit. You take it back. Look how close my arm is, and my hand is right there, because I'm going to bring it right back quick, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Try it. Hit, release, hit. The second one should be harder than the first, because you've had time to push harder. Boom. There. The second one is always harder than the first one. All right? Those elbow strikes, those 3 elbow strikes are the ones most commonly used. Now we have the side elbow strike that we just did, and we've done these before. And the side elbow, I'm going to step here so you can see. I'm going to do this with this hand, with this arm. This hand comes back here, right? And this elbow goes out. So it's here. You start here. You keep this hand open. This is your striking hand, striking arm. You make a fist with the bottom arm, and you bring that to your waist as you strike. And that elbows to the side. Why do we do that? That's proper martial arts technique, but it also gives you snap. It gives you that snap right there, right? So we've got elbow strike here, here, and we've got 2 elbows here. There my fists are together. You start here and you make your fist at the end because there's your power from your back. And it's going to make it harder if you make those fists there because both arms are working together. Good work. How about a back fist? How about a back fist? Elbow up, back of your hand to the chest or the face, here, and in, and down, here. Now, start to move, right? Once again, get it from the back of your body. Get it from the hips, the back of your body. Now, watch and see how fast you can go. Right there. Did you see it? Oh, wait. Did you miss it? Keep your wrist as straight as you can, right? But make it loose. Boom. And what happened here, I just turn. As my arm comes out, I turn and slap. So it's kind of a slap. Think of your little brother smarting off. Boom, right? Don't let him do that to you, though, right? No, don't even hit your little brother. I'm teasing, right? But that's what it's like. It's like, oh, stop it. Stop it. So back fists are way fun to do, too. All right. So tons of upper body boxing and a few martial arts techniques. So if you you're thinking, oh, you know what? I know what I forgot. We also need to do some kata, some form techniques. So when we do katas, we are in a martial arts stance. So feet are wide. We sit back and down, right? Everything has to be very solid here. So now if we have a low block, inside, outside, this is the outside block of the leg, right? And here's your high block. You guys know we just did this, right, recently. So the high block comes up 45 degrees and a little less in front of your forehead, right? So you're here and everything snaps at the last second. So for your high block starts here, like you're punching diagonally to the sky. But when it gets past your forehead, you flip it quick. Now this is the bony part of your forearm there, all right? And you turn the fist out, facing forward. Because if something's gonna come down on your head, like someone has a stick and they're gonna come down on your head, you don't wanna be here. You wanna be here because you want it to deflect off your arm. You don't want it to smack you in the top of the head, right? So deflect it. Your long arm on the outside of your leg protects you from a kick coming into your hip and your leg. All right, so remember, don't reach for the block. Keep the block arm close to your body. That'll protect you better. Now the inside-outside blocks, inside the leg and the groin, you know why we're protecting there, and the outside block, outside the jaw and the chest. 1, 2. You can do the chambers, which is here, right? 1, 2, or not. 1, 2, 1, 2. But you see, the only thing going on is that you have a hinge right at your elbow. And I'm doing force. I'm using force with these. I'm making them powerful. I'm using my back to do that. And I just do it naturally, so I want you to start getting used to doing that, right? If there's anything else you can think of for upper body boxing and martial arts techniques that we do in class, just let me know. I'll be so happy to demo and help you with that stuff. And later on this week, if you want me to demo the side kick as opposed to the roundhouse kick, I would love to do that. All right. See you guys later.